What's going on, guys? As you saw by the title, we have a special live stream. We are going to be going through every single Panini Fortnite trading card sale on eBay over $1,000 since 2022. And there's 113 $1,000 plus sales on eBay since 2022 of Panini Fortnite trading cards. And I can't wait to react to every single one of them, going through and look at them all. Ren time, how's it going? Good to see you here. But yeah, let's get right into this live stream here, showing off all of them. And the first card that we are looking at is a Peely Crystal Shard fixed price on June 11th, 2022 Crystal Shard USA print for $2,500. And honestly, this is a decent price. This is actually a really good price for this Peely. I could hold on. Can I make it look? Can I make it enlarge it? I think I can. All right. But Peely is a very good card. Rent time. Your new goal is 1,000 slab cards. That's all. That's crazy, bro. You got that though. Now this Peely sold for $2,500 exactly 3 years ago today on June 11th, 2025. Now, I don't think that's a high price at all. I think Peely is definitely worth that. There is no back image, but from what I can tell, looks pretty clean from the front. So I feel like that's probably could have gemmed. So definitely a reasonable price there at $2,500 on the Peely Crystal Shard. We're offered $2,500 exactly 3 years ago today. Now that is the first of 113 sales we're going to be talking about. Now next is a Royal Knight Crystal Shard PSA 10 in USA print that was June 13th of 2022 for $1,206. Now Royal Knight PSA 10 Crystal Shard for $1,200, I feel like also is a pretty reasonable price. People are talking about how I'm trying to think, what did the last one of these go for? I know one sold recently. We can actually check this. I'm not sure what's okay. I believe one of these sold recently. Yeah, so one just sold for practically the same price. We have one selling for $1,200 in 2022 and one selling for $1,100 in 2025. Now, I don't think the market's. I mean, the market has changed definitely. Like I always talk about, there's been a market correction. Now, this Royal Knight Crystal Shard PSA 10, would have been classified as underrated in 2022. And now in 2025, where it's selling at the same price, it's classified as properly rated. The card is properly rated. People understand that Royal Knight is a very good card. Back in 2022, not too many people were acknowledging that. So, there was definitely knowledge of her, but, she got way more exposed with THC gaining more popularity and just, like I said, the market correcting itself. So that's a good one to see. The next up, we have a Peely Italy BGS 9.5 Crystal Shard with, was that 12 bids for $1,575. That's definitely a lot more than what they're selling for right now. Especially, Italy has dropped off significantly, but still, Peely's a great card, and BGS 9.5 at the time, that was a very good price. Now, this is one I was excited to talk about because I brought this up a while ago. The 8-ball Cracked Ice PSA 10. At the time, this was Pop 2. It's still a very low pop card. 20 bids, and it sold for $2,425. And, 8-ball is a very good card. And, he was a little bit overrated back then. He was a little overrated back then. I can't lie. Also, just because the fact he was low pop did not help the situation for him selling for $2,000. But very good card. Still, I believe one. Actually, I think I covered this in my last live stream. One just sold for a little over $500, and sure, it's 1/5 of the price, but I don't know. The market is down, like we always talk about. Now, the next one is very, very unfortunate if you're the buyer on this. For $1,100, the Series 3 promo set, SGC graded. At the time, this was a reasonable price. Of course, Series 3, was a couple months old at this point. Still, honestly, a little high. Yeah, this is a rough one. I mean, they're all 10s. Okay, they're almost all 10s. TNT is a 9.5, which is one you definitely want in a 10. And Party MVP, which is also on definitely probably the top half of the promo set, is in a 9. So, yeah, that's an unfortunate purchase, especially that those were the ones that ended up two of the better ones. Oh, also, Scuba Jonesy is also a 9.5. That's brutal. $1,100 for a Series 3 promo set. That's unfortunate. Another one that's taken a big hit is Black Knight Hollows. They're definitely significantly down from this $1,300 price point, which once again is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Yeah, Runtime says it's a massive L. Yeah, it really is. A lot of these are, but it's good to just kind of see where the market's going. Then we got a USA Mega for $1,000. At the time, that wasn't a bad price at all. Auction with 34 bids. That was hot. Probably the first time one of these was listed in a very long time. I remember back in 2022, you did not see crystal shards listed up for auction. So, yeah, definitely definitely not a bad purchase. I believe megas are around like $750, $800 right about now, which I personally think that's a little bit low, but it is what it is. Then below that, we have a Drift Crystal Shard PSA 9. I love how the guy in the description puts a 10 with a question mark after PSA deemed it a 9. Samoth. The market will jump back up. A lot of people have gone quiet. Yeah, for sure. Samoth, I'm just kind of my main purpose behind this live stream was to just have something for in 3 more years. There's people that can jump back, watch this video, and see what cars were selling at that time 6 years ago. That was kind of my main point, just to kind of keep track of all this, all the big sales from 2022. Because after 3 years, it's pretty much impossible to access these sales, at least on eBay's product research. So, I just kind of want to have a place to have all these big sales from a long time ago. But I do 100% agree with you that the prices will jump back up. So Drift PSA 9 Crystal Shard for $1,000 with only 9 bids. Interesting. But yeah, Drift, we know, is a very, very good card. At one point, he was a little bit overrated, but I think he's in a good spot right now where he should be. Although one did just sell for some crazy numbers, but any Fortnite card selling for big numbers in where we are right now is something to be happy about. Good call, hard to find data. Appreciate it, bro. Yeah. Rent time, do I still buy? I haven't for a while. It's been a long time. I bought the Skull Trooper Italy Crystal Shard, I believe about a year ago, and it's probably the last Fortnite card I bought. So, it's just the way I've been in life. Becoming an adult, 18, 19 is what I've been the past year. So, it's just been what it's been. Daniel, how's it going? Good to see you in here. Just talking about some old sales. But this Drift, what was the date? June 23rd, 2022. Sold for $1,000 in PSA 9 condition. Honestly, I believe this is pretty on par with what it'd go for today. Probably go for probably like 8-9, if I had to guess, 8-900 today. So not bad at all. Definitely a lot better than that promo set sale. Let's see what we got. Panini Fortnite 2019 Series 1. Let's see, looks like this is a lot of cards that sold for $1,400. Okay, this is pretty brutal. $1,400 for these 8 Italy Crystal Shards. I mean, it's not brutal because you're still getting BK, Red Knight. I mean, Black Knight makes up the main chunk of this, but it's probably only 2/3 to a half of what this is worth now from what it originally sold for. $1,400. Okay, no, it's probably like half, which is unfortunate. Unless you got some PSA 10s. If you got some PSA 10s, you could definitely justify this purchase. There's big names here. Black Knight, Red Knight, Spider Knight, Ginger Gunner, underrated. Lachlan Skin right here. Leviathan, Black. This is kind of an outlier. I don't know where. I'm not gonna remember her name, but $1,400 at the time is kind of a decent price for at the point in time of the market. Definitely looking back, it's pretty bad, but still not awful. All right. On another Black Knight Hollow. This is a fixed price for $1,400 on June 28th, 2022. SGC 9.5 hollow foil. Definitely would not sell for this today. I mean, this is a fixed price. So somebody saw this and they're like, all right, this is too cheap. This is too cheap to pass up at $1,400. So honestly, back then, this was probably looked at as a steal, which is kind of crazy. But Black Knight, SGC 9.5 hollow for $1,400. would, like I said, is very high to us today. Back then, it was probably a pretty good deal. We have another Royal Knight PSA 10. That's crazy. This one for $13.25. We already talked about Royal Knight. We saw that card looks gorgeous. But we already saw that one sold this year for $1,100, then this one for $1,300, and then the one earlier in June of 2022 sold for another similar price. I believe it was $12. Okay, so Black Knight Italy print crystal shard PSA 9 for $3,800 on July 1st, 2022. So, like we just looked at that lot that was included all those other cards like Red Knight as well for $1,400. So that was really a very good price at that time. At that point in time, of course, not today. So seeing this sell for $38 definitely really justifies that other sale we were talking about. But yeah, Black Knight. It's unfortunate to see the way he's dropped. So we got two more Black Knights. We got a hollow PSA 10 of Black Knight for $8,100 on July 8th of 2022. Wow. That is a big number for a Fortnite card that is not a USA print crystal shard, although it is Black Knight. So, what can you really say? You just got a double cross PSA 10. Nice. Black Knight hollow foil PSA 10 right here for $8,100 on July 8th, 2022. That's just a crazy sale. 43 bids. Definitely one that was getting a lot of looks. That's crazy. It's crazy to see where things have gone because that's probably under 2K right now. Then we got another Black Knight. What is this? Italy, I believe. It has to be Italy. There's no way this is. Okay, yeah. So Italy selling for $1,000 flat, fixed price on July 12th. Interesting to see. These Black Knight Italy crystal shards have been interesting to me because you got this one right here. So that means Red Knight, Spider Knight, Ginger Gunner, Leviathan, the Lachlan Elfskin, Codename Elf, Blackheart, and that skin were valued at $400 to somebody. Well, at auction, yeah. So that's crazy. So Black Knight was making up $1,000 of that $1,400, and that just really shows you the difference between Black Knight and all the other Fortnite cards. This is 2019 to 2021 Panini Fortnite 37 card lot, all PSA 10. Let's see what this lot is. And this sold for $2,800 on July 14th, 2022. So it's definitely be some big cards. Okay. Unfortunately, we only get one image, so we don't get to see the whole lot. But we got some PSA 10 hollows, Munitions Major, Radiant Striker, Abstract, Archetype, Plague, Spooky Team Leader, Dire Base, PSA 10. Then we go to Suntan Specialist Hollow 10, Aerobic Assassin 10, and a Drum Gun Crystal Shard PSA 10. And that's only, 10 cards of the 37 that caused the sale to go for $2,800. So definitely a very good lot of cards right there. So not even a horrible price. Even today, this is probably like sub $1,000, unfortunately. But at the time, it's a good buy, I feel like. Then we got a fixed price Lux at $1,700 on July 8th, 2022. Crystal Shard PSA 9 USA print. What a gorgeous card. The gold, one of the best looking Fortnite cards of all time. And like I always talk about, Lux is a skin that aged very well. When she first came out in the Chapter 1 Season 8 Battle Pass, people did not like her. So worst Tier 100 skin to ever be released. And if you ask people now, they say she's one of the best. So Lux Crystal Shard PSA 9, very good card. And $1,700, obviously back then, was not a bad price. Today, little high, but not bad. So we got 3 Series 1 USA print megas, all selling in the $1,700 range. I think it's funny. The last one sold for a little bit more. These two sold for the exact same price at auction. A little more bids on the last one. So a couple people panicked, like, "Oh, I didn't get one of the first two. Got to make up some ground. Got to get one." I think it's pretty funny. But $1,700 for a mega. They're about $1,000 cheaper than this right now, which is it is what it is. But megas are still great. Then we got another Black Knight Hollow for $1,000 with 18 bids on July 24th, 2022. Okay, so the first Series 3 sale, true Series 3 sale, 2021 Panini. We had the promo set, but Midas Cracked Ice PSA 10 for $1,369 on July 25th, 2022. I remember in May of 2022, after Series 3 was like a month and a half old or so, month old, I was at a card show and some guys had a Midas Cracked Ice laying out. He's asking 750 on it raw, and that was like a reasonable price back then, which is crazy. I mean, because you even see 2 months later than that, selling for 1,400 in PSA 10. So, Midas is a great card, still is today. Unfortunately, just the way the market is, he's very undervalued. Not investment advice, but he's very undervalued. Now here we go. We got a lot of 14 megas from Series 2 for 2,000. So okay, don't hate me for my math skills, but okay, so 100. Okay, so basically 143 bucks a mega, which isn't bad. I mean, what are they today? 75 bucks. So cut in half. That's not. I mean, so could you get 14 megas today for 1,000? Basically, is what I'm seeing. What I'm kind of estimating here based on this sale. I don't know. Megas from Series 2 are very hit or miss, obviously. I remember just a while ago, okay, this was like well over a year ago. I don't know why I said just a while ago. Black Ash was opening up a bunch of megas on Instagram Lives. He ended up doing pretty good, though. I remember I watched Kari pull an Echo cracked ice on Instagram Live. That was a great moment. So, Series 2 megas are very fun to rip. They can be, at least. They can be fun to rip. They can also be brutal. Okay, so we got a Raven. What is this Raven Crystal Shard SGC 10 for 1,100 bucks in July of 2022. Definitely not a bad sale at all. Honestly, there's a Raven up right now. Oh, is he up for 700 bucks? Buy it now, PSA 9, something like that. I believe it's 649.99 in a PSA 9 Raven. I honestly think Raven is up from this price right now. He's probably up from this right now, which I talked about earlier with the Royal Knight market correction. Now, here we go with another Midas. So this is on August 1st. The other one was July 25th. So within 6 days, the card dropped 300 bucks. And 22 bids compared to how many bids? 20. Okay. I assume the other one had less bids, but 22 bids, 1,080, August 1st, 2022. Oh, I see a little mega action. But before we get to that, we got megas for 1,300 bucks on August 3rd. 3 of them. Okay, well, this one's for 14. So 1335, 1425, and 1335. Like I talk about, megas are like 800, 750 to 800 bucks right now. But at the time, these weren't bad prices. You're getting 2 random crystal shards. So yeah. All right. Here's the Omega. Is that a PSA 10 auction? Okay, so this PSA 10 Omega Crystal Shard, man, that thing. I got, my Omega up there. Shout out to you, Rob. But Omega is so gorgeous. The blue on the black with the orange, it looks too good. On August 11th for 1,834 bucks. I wholeheartedly believe if this card was listed up for auction right now, and I'm not saying this out of bias for my love for Omega, it would sell for more than this. I guarantee you this card is breaking over 2K if it's sold today. I mean, what did that Drift just sell for? 4,000. So there's no way this card is going sub 2K. Personally, I believe Omega is better than Drift. I know that's not the common consensus, but he's definitely way better than half. So, this card is definitely well over 2K in my opinion today. So whoever got this back in August 11th of 2022, congratulations. You got a good deal. All right, let's take Samet. That's quite high considering current prices. Yeah, I mean, just at the time of when those $1,300 megas were selling, it's just, you got to take into consideration the time and the place. For them to be about 600 bucks less than this right now, honestly, nowhere near as bad as some of the stuff we've seen so far today, like the $1,300 Midas sale or the $1,000 Series 3 promo set sale. So it could always be worse. Now we got this Black Knight Hollow PSA 9 for 2,100 bucks. Like, that's a bad sale. That's a bad purchase, unfortunately. Then there's also, what is this Black Knight back here? What is that Black Knight down? Okay, so in Italy, this is like the international guys enjoy this grading company, I guess. PGS or something. 9.5 Italy for 1,800. Then you got a USA Hollow PSA 9 for 2,100. Just these big numbers are thrown around for Black Knight so frequently back in the day. And it's just unfortunate of how low he is right now. That was more of a seller market for sure at that time. 100% Samoth, it really was. You see, look, we've got another sale of 3 mega boxes for basically 4,400. That's crazy. Let's see. You guys know I cannot do math. It's bad. Okay, so that's, yeah, basically $1,500 a mega box on August 15th, 2022. Now they're about, yeah, they're a lot less than that, like 800 less than that, 750 less than that. It's just the way it is, the way it goes. Here's a mega for 1,500. Here's a Black Knight Brazil, first BK Brazil we've seen, in an SGC 9 for 1,300. Not bad at all. At that time, that was a good deal, because think about how many sales we've looked through so far, and we've seen one Black Knight Brazil compared to all those Italy we've seen. We've seen like 10 Italy Crystal Shard Black Knights compared to this one Black Knight we've seen so far. So at the time, that honestly wasn't too bad. Obviously, right now, that's a very not so great purchase. Fortnite cards were a bad investment. Now, you see, Rentime, if you don't enjoy the cards, most definitely. I'm into my collection for just below $7,000 right now. I'd say it's worth, being conservative, I'd say it's probably $3,800 if I had to guess how much my collection is worth. So it's just the way it is, and that's including the Omega I got for free from Rob. So if you take that away, my collection's really worth like $3K. So I'm kind of down like 4,000 on my cards. So yes, they weren't bad investment, but I had a fun time doing it, and I enjoyed the cards still. So it really wasn't, although it was. Then we got another Black Knight. Got a couple Black Knight hollows here. Let's take a look at this lot real quick. This sold for $1,300 on August 21st, 2022. Okay. Now, at the time, this would have been a very good price. You can see it sold fixed price, so this was listed up for a buy. Now someone just pulled the trigger, because at the time, in August of 2022, this is not a bad price for these three cards. I mean, Frozen Nogops and Frozen Love Ranger are two very good skins, and Midas, we all know, personally top 10 Fortnite card of all time in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, obviously right now we got probably 300, I'll say 450 worth of cards here, maybe 500. So it's unfortunate, but still very good cards. And we got two BK hollows, a PSA 9 for 2,100, and a raw for 1,200. So you can see a big difference between the PSA graded 9 and the raw right there, about a $900 difference. Oh, here we go. This is a cool one. Tomato Head USA print Crystal Shard PSA 10 selling for $1,100 on August 22nd of 2022. I'm a huge Tomato Head fan. Him and Beef Boss. I really like Tomato Head as a skin. There was a point in time where he was one of my go-to skins. Not really anymore. That was back in the day. It was around like season 6. Season 6, I was rocking Tomato Head pretty consistently for some reason, even though Moisty Merman came out in season 4 and I had him. It was just, I don't know. I was rocking Tomato Head in season 6 for some reason. But $1,100 for a PSA 10, obviously he's a lot lower than that now. We're seeing this consistently, sale after sale, except for like that Omega. That was a really good purchase, I feel like. But Tomato Head, PSA 10, that's just an awesome, awesome looking card. I think I might have to get a Tomato Head now looking at this. Potentially, maybe. But if I can find a Tomato Head for the right price, I could see one finding its way into my collection, honestly. But that is a gorgeous card, PSA 10 Tomato Head Crystal Shard. For $1,100, it definitely sell for less than that, but I still think it's a great card. Then we got a little Heim action. $1,500 PSA 10 Heim. I know Heim's not the easiest to track down for Crystal Shard wise. Definitely, she's not like super rare like some of these ones we never see, but she's not bad for sure. She goes with Musha, so you can complete that duo. But yeah, PSA 10 Heim is for $1,500 at the time. Once again, not bad, but very bad right now. Let's see, we're working with a couple more Black Knights, hollow PSA 9 for $1,000 fixed price. Then okay, that's interesting. So fixed price for $1,000 on the 22nd for a PSA 9, then fixed price for $1,000 on an 8 on the 23rd. So somebody back in the day was jumping for joy at this amazing deal they thought they got on this Black Knight PSA 9. Unfortunately, it's just, this is what it is. And we got a Peely Italy Cracked Ice SGC 9.5. Earlier we looked at a BGS 9.5 that sold in June of 22 for 1,500. So, between June and August, there's a little bit of a decrease. Second Lux Crystal Shard PSA 9 we've looked at. This one at auction selling for $1,172. We saw one before that go for $1,700 fixed price. That's a big drop off between July and August, just a 1 month difference. But probably just at that point, there was one collector who really wanted a Lux, and they saw the one for 17. They pulled the trigger, and then there wasn't that big collector in the space to purchase one at the time in August 27th because that collector already got one. Would be my guess on what happened. So that's why it dropped $600. Okay, this is a sale right here for $6,000 fixed priced on August 30th, 2022. Skull Trooper Crystal Shard PSA 10. Sure, it's worth less than this right now, but is this really a bad buy in my opinion? Absolutely not, because you have a Skull Trooper PSA 10 Crystal Shard. Like I said, if you look at the numbers, it's a bad buy, but is it really a bad buy if you're investing in Fortnite cards? Because Skull Trooper is one of the absolute best. Who is more iconic than Skull Trooper, really? That's in Series 1 and on a Crystal Shard. Black Knight, yeah. Anyone else? No. No one, other than Black Knight, no one's really more iconic than Skull Trooper, and you could argue that Skull Trooper is more iconic. And right below that, we have Skull Ranger for $3,000 fixed price. Now, this one, what was the last Skull Ranger sale? There was a Skull Ranger sale a while ago, but I think it was sub 2K, but it was definitely over 1,000. So, not the most egregious sales we've seen so far today. Yeah, not the most egregious of the ones we've seen today. That mint green really does hit. Skull Ranger is a gorgeous card. I wonder if the same person who bought this Skull Trooper bought this Skull Ranger. I don't know. That'd be cool if they did. Then we got another Mega. This one going for $1,100. Is that a base Black Knight for $1,000? Oh no. That's unfortunate. We have a base Black Knight PSA 10 on September 7th, 2022 for $1,050. I feel sorry for whoever pulled the trigger on this. Yeah, I don't want to dwell on that one too long. That's brutal. Then we got, so a Black Knight Hollow just raw for $1,000. We got a Mega for $1,700. The way these Megas really fluctuate in price. Even back then, they were really just like all over the place for sure. 100 fat packs for $1,400 on September 11th. Wow, 2,200 cards. I wonder how many of those are hollows. Not very many of them. If you would ask me this a couple years ago, I would have known the odds off the top of my head. I don't, but yeah, definitely not the best there. Then we got a Peely Holofoil PSA 10 for $1,250 fixed price. Yes, that's bad compared to today, but at the time, that's really not that bad of a price. Also, Peely Hollows are gorgeous cards. Just the yellow with the yellow, they look great. The simplicity of the hollow, I love those. Peely Hollows are great. Now we are on to the second page of sales. Let's see here. Now, okay. I remember when this happened. This is all over the place. Peely for $10K, Crystal Shard, PSA 10. I remember when this happened. I'm sure anyone who was in the collecting space at that time all remembers when this card. This was like pretty. This got us some traction as a card community for a little bit. It fizzled out very quickly, but this got us some traction. There's the meme card account like Lameme James. Like he was posting about this. Like this card was all over the place at the time, and it was pretty cool to see as a Fortnite card collector. And at the time, this was early into my stages. This was like I was only a collector for about 5 months when this happened. So this sale really did kind of inspire me to strap on the sizzle and pick up some cards. It's the way it was back in the day. You see a sale like that, you think, all right, I got to get some more. Because at the time we were seeing big 5-figure sales like this. I'm sure Daniel Gonzalez remembers stuff like this. You'd see a big Andrew Rice. What's up? What's up, Andrew? How you doing, man? Good to have you here. This is a sale for you. We're talking about a Peely for $10K back in September 22nd of 2022. You don't think you can let him go? Yeah, understandable. Especially just, less than 3 years ago, we were seeing them for $10K. And at definitely the same set of auctions here, we see an Aura PSA 9 cracked ice going for $1,020. Oh no, September 26th. So they weren't the same set of auctions. But Aura, definitely dropped off a lot. PSA 10s are selling for sub 1K right now. But still very good card. Still the most used skin of all time. In my opinion, the best card of Series 2. Yeah. All right, then we got another Black Knight Hollow PSA 10 fixed price for $700 on September 27th. $7,000 on September 27th, 2022. Once again, just seeing all these sellers just getting beat on these Black Knight Hollows. At the time, these were all good prices. 7K is definitely kind of high for a PSA 10. But, at the time, it was still justifiable. Unfortunately, it's just the way, sellers were just getting – it was a seller's market at the time, as Sam said earlier. Then we got a Panini Fortnite Crystal Shard Black Knight PSA 9. And this sold for $15,677 on September 28th, 2022. So this will also show you a difference. Peely in a PSA 10 earlier that month, 6 days difference. The Peely in a PSA 10 sells for basically $6,000 less than the Black Knight in a 9, not in a 10. It's crazy to think about. 2022 prices are crazy. But yeah, Peely is 6K less than a 10 than Black Knight in a 9 in September of 2022. Interesting. I think Peely's kind of gained some ground on Black Knight lately, though. The past year, I think Peely's kind of been gaining some ground on him. We got another Mega at $1,400 fixed price. Megas were pretty much selling for whatever they were listed for. If it was under $1,500, it was going to sell. Basically, is the way Megas were back then. Okay, we got two more black. What is this? Series 1 complete. Okay, this looks like a Brazil. This is a Brazil master set, is what I'm assuming this is. I'm assuming this is a Brazil master set, selling for $3,050 at auction for 38 bids on October 23rd, 2022. There was a point in time where it was hard to find Brazil cards, mainly because they all were in master sets. There's definitely some issues with the distribution of that set. And, a lot of them were in master sets for some reason. Master sets pop up a lot more than a lot of singles would back then. So that was kind of interesting. But yeah, then another Black Knight Hollow, $1,200. Here we go, another Tomato Head Crystal Shard PSA 10. We saw one sell for, it was like 11. I think it was 11.26. This one sells for 10.26 about a month later. So, Tomato Head holding strong in 2022 for just around $1,000. See, we got another Black Knight Hollow PSA 9, $1,500. Like, just once again, sad to see. Now we're in November of 2022. Here we go. Gorgeous. Skull Trooper PSA 9 for $2,300 fixed price. We saw that 10 for $6K a little bit ago. Was that August, I believe, or September? September, I think it was, of 2022. The Skull Trooper sold for $6K. And this is a very decent price, I feel like. Just like I thought the $6K shirt was high, just like the shirt's high, but it's not bad because it's still Skull Trooper. Now this one, it just says binder of Fortnite Panini cards, cracked ice, and Optichrome lot, $1,500 fixed price. The only image we're able to see is this Panda Team Leader Crystal Shard. Unfortunately, through eBay Terapeak, I cannot see the other images of the listing, just the first one. So who knows what was in this lot. And, based on just that image, if they're getting a couple Crystal Shards, Panda Team Leader, then you get some Optichromes, like $1,500. This may have been a decent sale if there was some more shards in there. Then we got Series 1 complete. This is probably another Brazil master set if I had to guess. Yeah, this is definitely a Brazil master set. This one's selling for $1,876. I feel like that's on the low end, honestly, for back in the day. Yeah, crazy. That's honestly not bad. We got a Lux. What is this? No shot. Okay, it's a Crystal Shard. It looked like a base card. From this little image, it looked like a base card. But yeah, Crystal Shard SEC 9.5 for $1,200. So we saw the 9 for 17 in July of 22. We saw the other one for, I believe, 11 in August, and we see one in November of 22 for $1,200. But this is an SEC 9.5, so is it really better condition than PSA 9? Probably not. Now these next set of auctions are something really special to me because this is the same seller. The same seller lists some more cards. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. It's there. This seller lists a few more crystal shards because I remember it's the same background. But the first one he had for auction is a PSA 10 Raven crystal shard for $2,300. Now these cards went crazy back then. Raven for $2,300 at the time was a very strong price. Like I said, right now, what am I guessing this card's worth right now? Probably 1300. I don't think at the time this is honestly a good buy. At the time it was definitely not now, but just a gorgeous card. Raven, super iconic. People love them. I thought it was interesting. I saw Cypher PK posted a video, and it was like, "What is the face?" He saw Cypher PK saw a post on Reddit. It was like, "What skin is the face of Fortnite?" And one of the more common responses on who the face of Fortnite was Raven. Obviously, he was like, completely blown out of the water by Jonesy, Peely, Black Knight, Fish Stick, Skull Trooper, like those skins. But there was a good amount of love for Raven on that Reddit post. And then the same seller also listed a Calamity for. They listed Calamity for auction. It sold for $1,177 on November 14th, 2022. There was a Calamity sale that was egregiously low lately. It was like sub 200 for a PSA 9 or something. Calamity, very iconic to Fortnite. One that I definitely think is gonna have drive for demand as more collectors join the market, especially like in Chapter 1. She completes a really nice duo with Deadfire. Deadfire Calamity, iconic duo, Chapter 1, Season 6. Very good looking skin. Very iconic skin in game. Very good looking card. Then we got another mega. Like I said, if it was a mega listed for under 1,500 back in these times, it was getting sold. Then we got fixed price Black Knight Crystal Shard 4K. That looks like Italy too. Yeah, that's brutal. I'm sorry. That's unfortunate. But here we got one I like right here. Wild Card Crystal Shard PSA 10 on December 2nd, 2022 for $1,000. Personally, if this wild card sold today for $1,000, I'd say the buyer did a good job. I love wild card for the future, not investment advice, but I am a huge fan of wild card for the future, for potential demand in the future. I love wild card. Once again, not investment advice, but there's just so much drive behind the skins with this design. There's him, the ace. There's the new ace with all the this is the focal point of the heist season. We said that whole season based around crime. Wild card and ace in the heist event and the high stakes whatever walk so that Chapter 6 Season 2 can run the crime theme. People just, I feel like that's an underrated aspect is the ace and wild card. I do own an ace crystal shard, and like I said with the aim, do I own the aim crystal shard because I think he's going to be good in the future, or am I saying this stuff because I think aim's going to be good in the future? No, it's because I own the card because I believe what I'm saying about these cards. So, I'm right there with you. I'm not saying this stuff because I have the card. I don't even own a wild card. I'm talking up that I think this card, that what it sold for in 2022 would be completely justified to sell for this today. I don't own a wild card. If I was after one, I wouldn't be saying, if I had a bias behind this, I wouldn't be saying this. This is kind of crazy because one of these just sold for fixed price for under $500. Red Nose Ranger Crystal Shard PSA 10. One just sold in a fixed price for half of this, which is crazy. 2.5 years later. That's a brutal one. Black Knight Hollow PSA 10 for $6,100. Unfortunate. This is a Black Knight Crystal Shard. This sold for $5K. What is this? Italy 9.5 for $5K. Up here we saw the Italy 9 for $4K. So I guess you could justify that. Oh man, that's rough. Here we go. I talked about Heim earlier. We saw another PSA 10. I believe the other one we saw earlier was 11. So Heim had a $200 increase from whatever that last sale was in earlier of 2022. Then you got a card that I am very fond of. Deadfire Crystal Shard PSA 10. The first card we've talked about that I own. PSA 10 Deadfire. 2022, this was an $1,800 card. What's it today? Probably like $400. Yeah, it's sad, but I love that. I love Deadfire. This, I'm going to show you guys. This card is beyond gorgeous. This card is so good looking. I can't see myself, so I'm just hoping I'm showing it off right. But this card is beyond gorgeous. So, like, sure, is my card down? I mean, I didn't have it when it was worth 1,800. I probably got it when it was worth about 1,000. But is my card down 1,800? I mean, 1,400? Sure, but I still love it. It's a gorgeous card, and I'm struggling here with this slab mag. Hopefully, I can do this without everything falling down. Okay, back to the sale. Like I said, it's worth like 400 now. Should I buy a raw Peely Hollow or a PSA 9 Peely 35? I mean, if it's a base, I mean, I'd definitely take the Hollow over if the PSA 9 is a base. I'd take the Hollow for sure. But this Deadfire, like I said, Deadfire is a gorgeous card, and sure, is he down like $1,400 in the sale? Yeah, but what can you do? It's just the way it is. All right, we got a Black Knight Hollow. What is this? BGS 9 for 1,900. That's sad. Then we got a Peely Italy PSA 10. Earlier we saw one of the very first shows we talked about in this live stream was a Peely Italy BGS 9.5, and that was $1,100 cheaper than this. That one was for $1,500. The PSA 10 is for $2,600. Is that jump justifiable? Yes, I believe it is. I believe that jump is justified between a BGS 9.5 and a PSA 10 for $1,100, especially back in the day. Right now I'm not sure, but back then, yeah, I see it. We got a whole bunch of megas. 4 megas here goes 1,125, 1,125, 1,076, and 1,075. Yeah, I think the most recent mega set we looked at before this was 14. So this is January. This is 2023 now. We were in 2023 now, by the way. So this Deadfire was 2023. Okay. But yeah. 4 megas. Oh no, 5 megas here. Okay, so look, here's one for 14 at fixed price, right? On January 11th. 6 days later, 4 of them. Okay, 2 of them sell for 11, and 2 of them sell for 10.75. Just a couple days later. So just the way it is. Here we go. Here's one. Okay, we got a Brazil master set for 2K, whatever. But this is something we want to talk about. Sparkle Specialist, Crystal Shard, PSA 10, February 7th, 2023. This was right around the time I started my YouTube channel, actually. And one of my very first videos that is no longer up is a Sparkle Specialist video where I talk about how I believe she's an underrated card. Now, I took down that video because it was a voiceover video and it was awful, and I sounded like I was 12 when I was 17. It was bad. But Sparkle Specialist, Crystal Shard, PSA 10 for almost $1,300. What a card. What a gorgeous card. The pose, the color, PSA 10, the Crystal Shard, everything about this card is fantastic. Super OG, Chapter 1, Season 2 Battle Pass. I believe she'd sell for this number today. Or a little bit less, whatever, in the same range. Another hollow Black Knight. I think the theme of this video is people got decimated on Black Knight hollows. Oh, here's another one. And here's another one. Jeez, 5,300. Sorry. Oh, here we go. We got some shards. Lux PSA 9, 1225. Oh, I remember this. Oh, I remember these sales. Rice, are you still in here? If Rice is still in here, then because he bought both these. Andrew Salt, who was just in chat, Rice purchased both of these. And yes, they are down, but still, they're gorgeous cards. Shout out to you, Rice. You're a baller. But here we go. Another Black Knight Hollow PSA 9, 1,800. Just so brutal. Honestly, any card that's Black Knight that wasn't a Crystal Shard was pretty rough to see these sales a couple years ago. All right, let's see. What do we got here? Another Black Knight Hollow for $1,265. I mean, $2,650. Oh, my. I said 12 because I was hoping it was, but unfortunately it wasn't. Okay, what is this? Wow. So we got a mega and a bunch of fat packs for $1,100. Okay, not bad. Not bad there. Not bad. We got a bullseye for 12 fixed price. I'm guessing our boy Westrom purchased this one, if I had to assume, on March 16th, 2023. I'd assume this was his doing. $1,200 sale on a PSA 10. That is a gorgeous card. Pose, everything. It's like same thing as Sparkle Specialist. I believe Sparkle Specialist is better, but the same things apply. Great looking card. Then this is like the fourth Royal Knight PSA 10 we've looked at today. Crazy. And we're only on 2023. We still got the rest of this year to go. The rest of 23, all of 24, and half of 25 to go. We've already seen 4 Royal Knight Crystal Shard PSA 10s. This one for $13.50 at a fixed price. Definitely still not a bad purchase by any means. We got another Mega, $12.64. Once again, not bad. Like I said, this is still in the same time frame. If it was under $1,500, it's going to sell. Raptor PSA 10. Great looking card. $1,200 fixed price. Doesn't surprise me because Raptor never pops up like ever. I know this was probably about a year ago, 8 to 10 months ago, probably. Like I'll say like 10 months ago, a Raptor raw did like $185 at auction, which was tragic. But yeah. At the time, $1,200 for a Raptor 10 definitely isn't too bad, I'd say. All right, what do we got here? Well, Black Knight, Hollow, another. Okay, PSA 8. I didn't see the price. Don't be too bad. Okay, that's really bad. Ugh. Okay, we got a Valkyrie fixed price at 1,000 PSA 10 Crystal Shard. Valkyrie is a great looking card. The blue on blue. I don't own Valkyrie, but I do own Ragnarok, and he looks great. So I'm assuming she looks great too. So awesome. Honestly, 1,000 for that isn't even too egregious. Sure, it's definitely less than that now, but it is what it is. Not too many left here. Okay, we got a few more for sure. Okay, I don't know why it's doing this. All right. Also, when I said we have 113, I realized I was wrong. That's total sellers, not total sales. But here we go. We'll try Sarah Ops. Crystal Shard PSA 10 for 1,000 fixed price. Definitely it's less than that today. But I believe this is not 100% certain on that, but I believe that is 80.99 collector. The background looks like what his used to look like, potentially. Another Black Knight Hollow for very high. What is this? It's a promo? Okay, so this is the Series 1 promo. What are the grades here? Okay, it's not letting me zoom for some reason. We got a Series 1 promo and a Series 2 promo. Okay, 16.15 fixed price. Is that Galaxy a 10? No, it's a 9. That is a 10. Mary Marauder's a 10. That helps us sail out. It's high, but it's not the worst thing we've seen all day by any stretch. Definitely not bad. Mega for 11, not bad. Another BK Hollow for 17. Oh no, that's an Italy Shard. Jeez, 17, still pretty bad. Okay, here's a Mega Box foil pack for 1,000 PSA 9 condition. Yeah, $1,000 on April 15th. I mean, not awful, not great, not awful. Here we go. Omega. Oh, geez. I think we found an award for the worst one of the day. It's $4,000 fixed price on the Omega Hollow PSA 10. It's 2023, by the way, at this point. April 27th of 2023. Wow. I don't recall this sale. Unfortunately, I do believe that it happened. That's brutal. That's brutal. 4K for that. You guys know how much I love Omega, and I'm telling you how brutal that is. That's awful. Okay, I think we just found another winner for the worst. I think the worst one has just been overtaken. What are we doing buying Rogue Agent for $1,100 in 2023? Like even in 2023, that I feel like that would have been high. Geez, both those were very bad sales right here. Very bad buys. Good if you're the seller. I mean, you're doing back flips and front flips and jumping all over the place if you're the seller on these two. But if you're the buyer right now, I know you're definitely feeling that. All right, let's see what we got here. 220. Okay. Fat stack of hollows for $1,500. 200 hollows for 15. That's actually not too bad. I mean, you got the BK, you got the Peel, you got the Skull Trooper. I see the Lux. Oh, is it just the whole set? Yeah. Okay, well, it's not the whole set because there's only 200 of them, but not bad. Not bad at all. Oh, no, I think it is all the hollows. Yeah, yeah. No, there is 200 hollows. That is not bad at all. Peely Hollow PSA 10. What did this sell for? Fixed price at $1,000. High, but not awful. Whole bunch of blasters for $2,000. How many blasters are we thinking are here? Okay, a whole lot. Still a lot, though. Still a very steep price for some blaster boxes because I know this guy didn't get his money back. Another PK Hollow. We're just going to start skipping over those. Drift PSA 9 Crystal Shard for $1,200. We saw one of these earlier in early 2022, or it was like June 2022, July 2022. Now this is a whole year later. Okay, I'm good on that. June 4th, 2023. Drift Crystal Shard PSA 9 for $1,200. Not awful. Definitely not egregious by any means like some of the other sales, but still not beautiful, but still not bad. Let's see, what is this? Whole lot of cards. I see Peely Skull Trooper. Is that a Carbide? Yep. Oh, we got some shards. We got Nogops, Vertex, Elmira, and that Pickaxe. How much does this sell for? 1,600. I mean, that's not bad. This is actually, I feel like, isn't a bad buy. I mean, you're getting the Nogops, you're getting the Vertex, you're getting the Elmira, you're getting the Guiding Glow, you're getting the Skull Hollow, the Peely Hollow. You got some, looks like some Oppies. You got Zadie Hollow in there, Fable Hollow. I mean, Enforcer. Like, this is honestly, Wukong Hollow. Like, this is honestly not that bad. Yeah, no, like that's actually not that bad for $1,600. Even today, I'm sure that'd fetch an easy 1,000, maybe more. I mean, that's not bad at all. This one's pretty brutal. 8,100. Omega Italy. I mean, Black Knight Italy Crystal Shard PSA 10 for 8,000. That's pretty brutal. Another devastating hollow BK sale. But we got a Peely PSA 10 8,500. The first Peely PSA 10 we covered in this live stream was for $10K. This one for 8,500. So $1,500 drop off. Not bad. Still a very strong sale. And is he worth that today? Possibly. Black Knight Italy for 14. That's bad. Black Knight Italy for 1,000. That's bad. Brazil Master Set for 14. Not awful. Red Knight PSA 10 Crystal Shard for $2,600. Sure, it's high by today's standards, but at the time is what it is. I believe this card sold for $5. There was a Red Knight card sold for 5 figures. I believe it was a Crystal Shard because I'm giving the buyer the benefit of the doubt, but I'm kind of certain it might have been a hollow foil Red Knight 10 that sold for $10K. I think it might have been, but I'm hoping it was a Crystal Shard. I'm not 100% certain. But Red Knight's definitely down a lot. She's a very gorgeous card, though. The red on red. She made the community top 25. So, I mean, 2,600 isn't awful. Then we got, what is this? Brazil Master Set for 18. One, a couple weeks earlier sold for 13. So that's, yeah, there was a 13 up here. We're not going to go too far back, but there was a 13 up there. Oh, yeah, right here. 1,390, then 1,800. I'm not sure what's going on there. We got a little Dyer USA print Crystal Shard for $1,200 on July 18th, 2022. Definitely not bad. I mean, he's definitely less than this right now, but, not awful at all by any stretch. Another BK devastating sale. What is this? Promo set for $2,700. Okay, 10, 10, 10. High, but not awful. I mean, you got the Mary Marauder, Cloakstar, and Galaxy 10. 2 of the top 3 from the promo, and I feel like Cloakstar's he's probably like top 5 of the promo. I'm giving Galaxy 1, Mary Marauder 2, Rogue Agent 3, probably Technique 4, Rabbit Raider 5, Trailblazer, then Mullet Marauder, and then Gumshoe if I had to rank them. You got a little side promo set ranking there out of me. 2,700 is high for that, though. Another Black Knight Hollow, devastating. Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. Mega Box plus 3 fat packs for 1,000. Not awful at all. Little BK Crystal Shard PSA 9 for $1,450 fixed price. The one we talked about earlier in the video, PSA 9, I believe, was $1,560. So, at this point in time, definitely not bad. Gorgeous card. Black Knight is, that's the one Black Knight card we've seen that did not drop off significantly. Although this is like PSA 10 price now. 17K was the last PSA 10. So it's still down, but definitely nowhere near as egregious as some of the ones we've seen. Skull Trooper PSA 10 for 3,500 fixed priced. We did see a 6K Skull Trooper sale, so 2,500 off the last eBay sale of a Skull Trooper PSA 10. So definitely down, but once again not awful. Another brutal Black Knight sale. Italy Crystal Shard PSA 10 Black Knight for almost $7,000. Once again, awful. Sorry. Peely 1750 fixed price Crystal Shard, looks clean from the front. I mean, that's honestly not a bad sale. September 8th, 2023. I've seen way worse. Here we go. Another fixed price Black Knight PSA 9. This time for 14K. We saw the 14.5 just a little bit ago. So, I mean, once again, not bad. Same things apply to the other one. Heim Crystal Shard PSA 10. This one at 1320. So we've seen an 1,100, a 1,300, and two 1,300 sales on Heim Crystal Shard PSA 10s in this video between 22 and 23. So, Heim put up some numbers. All right, let's see. This Peely, raw Peely. I remember this card was not that clean though. 1,700 at auction, not bad. I remember it wasn't the cleanest though. I remember seeing this up in this time frame. I remember seeing it up for sale. It wasn't the cleanest of cards though. Mega for 1,000. Here we go. A lot of 17 Crystal Shards. Unfortunately, all we get is the Garrison. But I remember there were some bangers in this lot. I'm not going to name all the names because I'd be leaving like almost all of them out. But I do remember there were some heavy hitters in this lot. And it sold for 5,200. But I believe this sale did not get completed and they were listed up for auction potentially. So later on, we could see these up again, maybe. And this is the same seller. I believe it was something like, there was like 15 of the same ones. And they like threw a hollow. This was really weird. I'm not sure what happened with these. There was something kind of sketchy about these. But yeah, I'm not going to spend too much time on those because I'm not very certain about the legitimacy of those. Another BK Hollow Tragedy. A Mega for 1,000, not bad. This is also not bad. The pack for 1,000. Peely Hollow PSA 10 for 18. Oh no, not a hollow. I'm too far away to tell completely. PSA 10 Italy Crystal Shard for 1,800. I mean, at the time, I feel like that's a decent price for sure. I feel like at the time that seems a little bit low for the time period, but not bad at all. Good sale. Good buy at the time either. I mean, right now definitely lower, but still not egregious. Okay, Drift 4K PSA 10. This is around the time when I started saying that I thought Drift was the most overrated Fortnite card. Once again, we see market correction though. Although one did just sell for like 4K, so it's crazy that one just sold for 4K. So I'm not saying he's overrated anymore because he's still selling for 4K in 2025. So like, sure, I'll admit my wrong on that, but I still think he's. I'm just glad to see a 4K Fortnite card sale that isn't Black Knight or Peely. So, it is what it is. Yeah, Drift is he's a great card. At one point I thought he was a little overrated because people were saying he's like top 2. All right, the second 8-ball PSA 10 cracked ice we've seen today. The first one we saw was for 2,500. This one for 1,500, and about a year and a half later, 8-ball, great card like I talked about earlier in the live stream. That was like one of the first sales I talked about today. So this is almost an hour deep in this live stream. That's crazy. We got a Brazil Master set for 1,200, and then a Mega for 1,150. Once again, like I said, it's under 1,500. It was selling. Oh, here's a promo for 1,750. Let's see what we're working with. Oh, it's a 9. That's a 9. 10, 10, 8, 8. That's brutal. The grades are rough on that. But any promo, Series 1 promo for 17 still isn't great either way, unfortunately. All right. Got a whole nother page of 50. I believe there's this page and then like half of one left. Okay, this could be interesting. Let's see what we're working with here. Italy. I did not expect this to be Italy with a $4,000 fixed price. Okay, well then again, 22 PSA 10 USA for 4K would have been pretty absurd. But we got a 4K fixed price on 22 Italy PSA 10s. No big name. I mean, Skull Trooper, yeah. I mean, Skull Ranger, yeah, but like no big names there. So that's unfortunate if you're the buyer there. bunch of see what we're working with here. I kind of skipped over that one. Oh, this is a hobby case from Series 1 for $1,500. That's brutal. 15 you got 15 hollows. I mean, you got 12 Series 1 hollows for $1,500 and a couple legendary and like 20 legendaries. That's pretty rough, I can't lie. Then we got a whole bunch of Italy megas for 1,100. Also kind of brutal, but at the time that wasn't egregious. Then we got a Lynx Pop 4 PSA 10. At the time, it was Pop 4 PSA 10 cracked ice on December 17th, 2023 for $1,000. Lynx is a very, very good card. Super iconic. So many people love her. So many people use her to this day. One of the highlights of Chapter 1 Season 7 Battle Pass. One of the best Battle Pass skins we've ever gotten, especially of all of Chapter 1. So Lynx is super great. And for $1,000, yeah, that's high, but it's the Lynx, Peely for 7K PSA 10 Crystal Shard. We're seeing a trend with these PSA 10s. We saw 10K, we saw 8,500, and now we're seeing 7K. So, a steady decline on the Peelys, unfortunately, but he's still a great card. We got Skull Trooper, PSA 9 for 2K. We saw another PSA 9 for 2,300, and I believe that was a 2022 sale. Also, we're in 2024 now, so, a lot more frequent here. But 2K is not bad. Not bad at all. We got a Dyer. Dyer doing $1,800 in 2024. That is a heavy-hitting sale. I forgot about it, but now I see it again. It is coming back to me that this did happen. Wow, I forgot, but yes, I do remember this. Kind of vividly, actually, but congratulations to Dyer for that. That's crazy. Then we got another Brazil for 15. Not sure if this just says bulk, but it's sold for $2,200. I got to see what the. Oh my. Oh my. A lot of rip in there. That is absurd. That is a crazy amount of packs. Definitely some good pulls in here. There's got to be at least one BK hollow hiding up in here. At least one Aura Opti and at least one Midas Opti hiding up in these packs. So, that's crazy. 2,200, yeah, it's high, but that's crazy. That's not even a bad sale. I'm not going to talk down on that whatsoever. Okay, here we got a Black Knight Italy Crystal Shard PSA 10 selling for something that isn't over 5K, 3,600. Yes, it's still high, but it's a lot better than what we've been seeing, so I'm glad to see that. Also, is that our 6th or 5th Royal Knight? But we got to talk about this gorgeous Ragnarok first. We saw his counterpart, Valkyrie, sell for 1,000 flat earlier in this live stream in a PSA 10. Now we got him selling for 13, so not bad. Ragnarok is a gorgeous card, one of the best looking cards I've ever held. So, but here we go. We are back at it with another Royal Knight PSA 10. This one, the highest number we've seen. Oh, yeah, the highest number we've seen, because we saw 13, then a bunch 11, and another 13. Yeah, I believe we've seen 2 13s, 2 11s, and now 1,875 on a Royal Knight PSA 10. 29 bids, May 2nd, 2024. We were doing good in 2024 for sure. Then we got a Lux PSA 10 for. Wait, I could have done that this whole time. Instead of doing the open image and new tab, jeez. But this card sold for $3,500. We were doing good in 2022. I didn't realize how good we had it back then. Just a little over a year ago, I didn't realize how good we had it. We got a Peely for 1,000 even. I believe we saw this same listing earlier for $1,700, and that is one thing. Some of these sales are not going to be legit, so this is what it is. I believe this one was real, and the 1,700 was not. And like I said, I believe this one wasn't very clean, so 1,000 is way more justifiable for that Peely. And we consistently see Peely catching big numbers, and this is a good price. Sure, it's a touch high, but Galaxy PSA 10 for 1,000 on May 10th, 2024. I'm not gonna say anything bad about this because it's still Galaxy, and he's still a very, very good card, the best card of the promo set. So, let's see what we're working with here. Oh, the Brazil starter packs. How much is some? Ah, jeez, $1,200 for 10 Brazil starter packs. I don't know. It says Black Knight in the description. I don't know if he's saying you can pull a Black Knight or that there is a Black Knight. There better be a Black Knight included if that was selling for $1,200. That's brutal. Let's see. Here's a promo set. Well, promo set looks like Dante as well. So complete all 10 for $1,700. That's pretty bad. Then we got a Drift BGS 8 for $1,150. Crystal Shard. I actually don't like that. I like this better. But Drift for $1,100. Well, what was the date on this? This was June 18th, 2024. So just under a year ago. Crazy. Wow. I honestly think this. I mean, BGS 8. Yes, that's 1,100. I'm not sure what to make. This sale's kind of I'm not sure what to make of this one because we just saw that one Drift sell for 4K, and then back in the day in 2023 we saw it also sell for 4K. So I don't know. I'm not sure what to make of that sale, but I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's a great buy, but I don't think it's a bad buy either. Then we got 10 megas at 110 a piece. Earlier we saw 14 in 2022 sell for 142 a piece. So a little bit of a drop off, but still not too bad. Oh, come on. Okay. All right, here we go. Another Black Knight Hollow with an egregiously low loss. Oh, that's just bad. Because I saw what was next to it. 4,700 for a Black Knight Hollow. Oh man. Can you believe a year ago this was almost a $5,000 card? How times change, huh? And we're seeing another Peely PSA 10. We saw 10K. We saw 8,500. We saw 7K. And now we're seeing 6,300. Steady decline on the Peely PSA 10s from 2022 to 2024. But he's still Peely. You got to love him. An Aura PSA 10 for $1,500 fixed price. Yes, it's less than that right now, but I'm not going to say anything bad about this sale because it's still Aura, one of the greatest cards in all of Fortnite cards. All of Panini Fortnite, one of the best ones. So PSA 10 right there. Great card. Some more Black Knights that are very, very bad. Okay, more Black Knights and our 7th Royal Knight Crystal Shard PSA 10. This one going for 16. So we've seen 13, 11, 11, 13, 18, and 1,600 on these Royal Knights. I don't know why there's so many of these popping up. I'm going to check the population on that. More very, very bad Black Knights. 7,600. Okay, well, that's a Crystal Shard. So that's a USA Crystal Shard. So 885. 7,600. Yes, it's worth a lot less than that right now. But is that really a bad buy? I'm going to say absolutely not. I'm going to say it's a good purchase because it's a Black Knight Crystal Shard. Not investment advice, but if it's a Black Knight USA Crystal Shard, you can't really go wrong. Even what was the one? It was like 5,500 value is what it went for back in the day. I still don't think that's that bad because at some point we're getting back there. Personally, I believe that. And what is this one? A PSA 9 goes for 9K. So that big jump from the 8.5 to the 9 is pretty crazy. $1,500 jump. Sold 2 days apart. Maybe this one sold a little bit lower because people were putting their funds into this one, maybe. Could be. Who knows? Because they're only 2 days apart. That's crazy seeing 2 BK shards 2 days apart. But not bad at all. Okay. We're getting some exciting stuff here. So we got the Peely Brazil for $2,350 fixed price. Not bad. I mean, yes, it's high compared to where we are today, but still not bad. Then we got a little Black Knight Crystal Shard PSA 10. Little international action. Brazil 10 for 5K. Yes, it's high, but it's Brazil 10. Those don't pop up. We got some heaters coming up here. We'll take this stretch, this 4 right here. So fish sticks at $1,200. I talked about this sale in my kind of like my return to YouTube. It was like I took a break where I uploaded 8 videos in about a probably 10-month span. Then in November of 2024, I uploaded a video and I did some live streams, and then I started doing the recent pickups, and now I'm doing this. So it's kind of like my return to YouTube. But little fish stick action Crystal Shard for $1,200. Not even a bad price at all. I'm not going to say it's high. I'm going to say it's a good price. Bright Bomber for $13. Not a bad price at all either. Drift at $1,000. We saw the 8 BGS 8 go for 11, so just a little bit over. I feel like that's not bad. They're pretty equal in value if you asked me. Then we got a Skull Trooper, 25.50 for the raw. I remember this listing was super clean though, super clean, and even at this point in time, this is a very good buy. I feel like Skull Trooper, I just keep saying you cannot go wrong with Skull Trooper. He's too good. Then we got another Bright Bomber. This one's selling for just $100 less. Great looking card, gorgeous card. Now this was a bin, I believe it was fixed price. These were auctions. That was a bin, strong sale right there. Black Knight PSA 10, Italy Crystal Shard for $3K. So that's $2,500 less than the Brazil we saw just a little bit before that. We got a Series 2 Mega Box case, 20. Once again, wait. Is that just 90? Yeah, I'm an idiot. That's just 90. So $90 a box. We saw 14 of them sell for $142 a box. We saw 10 sell for $110 a box, and now we're seeing 20 sell for $90 a box. Seeing the megas consistently drop as well. Yo, I caught the live. What's up, man? Kevin Garcia, appreciate you stopping by. I've just been talking about every single Panini Fortnite trading card sale that's over $1,000 since 2022, and we're in November of 2024 by now. So almost wrapping this one up, but it's been a great stream. Definitely, if you have the time, watch it on the playback. But now we're looking at Peely, Italy Crystal Shard PSA 10 at auction for $1,000. I mean, what's this worth right now? Probably not too much lower than that. I mean, definitely not higher, but it's definitely not lower. Here's a Skull Trooper PSA 9. We've seen this one sell for, I believe we saw $3K, $2,300, and now we're seeing $1,500 on these since 2022. I do think it's interesting that this sold for $15, and then just right up here we have the raw going for $1,000 more. But I think the reason why the raw went for $1,000 more, you'll definitely play it back. Hey, appreciate it, bro. But I believe this one sold for just $1,000 more because it had PSA 10 potential, and this one's a 9, and it probably didn't because it's already a 9. I mean, there's always crack and resub chances, but you never know what that's way too risky. Then we got a Black Knight Italy again. Once again, $2,500. This isn't too bad. Definitely coming back down to earth from what we were seeing earlier in this live stream. Then we got another Peely, little Peely action. Wait. Crystal Shard raw for $3K fixed price. I remember this listing. It was very clean, so not bad. Not bad at $3K. There's definitely PSA 10 potential there. So not gonna say. And then this is the 8th time we've seen this card. So we saw it at $1,300, $1,100, $1,100, $1,300, $1,800, $1,600, and now once again $1,300. So we have seen a whole bunch of Royal Knight Crystal Shard PSA 10s. Definitely a Fortnite fan. You got the Save the World background here. Very cool. Also, I believe that is the second sale of 2025 we're talking about. So we're into this year now. We're into just a couple months ago now in these sales. But this is a Royal Knight PSA 10 Crystal Shard for $1,300. Once again, I've talked about this card so much. That's not even a bad price. That's a good price. All right. Then we got some more international. We got a Black Knight PSA 10 for $2,000. Definitely, like I said, coming back down to earth. Another Peely for $1,000. I do think it's interesting, just basically half the value. I don't think it's unreasonable. I mean, their crystal shards are definitely a lot more separated than that. But then again, right now in the current market, I mean, $17K for the last Black Knight PSA 10. What would a Peely sell for right now? I don't think it'd be. Would it be half? It'd be a little bit less. I feel like Peely's probably like $7K right now. 7K would be my guess. Yeah, $7K. So I mean, the cut in half is not awful, but I feel like the Black Knight would have been low or the Peely would have been high, one of the two. But here we go. Pump Shotgun PSA 10 fixed price, $2,500. February 12th, 2025. I remember this sale. The pump, you cannot go wrong, is personally, in my opinion, a top 10 Panini Fortnite trading card of all time. Is in my top 10. I know a lot of people disagree with me on that, but the pump is gorgeous. Also, it's a new PSA slab. So I don't know how much that adds to it, but it's definitely cool. Then, that's gorgeous. Peely, I don't know what this grading company is. Whatever grading company that is, it doesn't matter. Look, just a rip-off BGS. But, I mean, according to them, it's good. Who knows? If you crack that out, get a PSA 10, that'd be amazing for 3,500, because then you're getting, like I said, $6,000-$7,000 card for 35 if you can crack it out. But you never know, definitely a risk. But that Peely is a gorgeous card, so definitely not a bad purchase there by any means. Taking that risk on getting a 10, probably lock into at least a 9 there if I do imagine. All right, now we're on to just the last few. Here we go, Ragnarok PSA 10 for 1,800. We saw one of these earlier sell for 12, and that was in 2024. So from 24 to 25, Ragnarok is actually up, which is pretty cool. Then we got 1,750, which is very similar to the last one, just a little under $90 a box here. So we've seen on Megas, we've seen them sell in big lots for 142 a piece, 110 a piece, and 2 times at 90 a piece. Here we go, Skull Trooper PSA 10, 3,500. We saw one of these earlier for 6K, then we saw another one, I believe in the $4,000 range, and now we're seeing another one. Like, oh, we saw that $4,000 one a while ago, and see, just a couple months ago, like, this card is not down that much. Now, this is what I'm anxious to talk about, because what we've seen so far on Peely, we saw. Okay, we're gonna wait for it to come up. So when I'm talking, from 2022, we saw Peely sell for 10K, and we saw 8K, then we saw 7,500, then we saw 6,300, and now we are seeing 4,800. I mean, yes, it's to be expected. The drop off Peely is definitely down. Like I just talked about with the Skull Trooper is around the relatively same price as what it was doing a couple years ago. Like I said, we saw a 6K, but that was kind of an outlier. Then we saw, I believe it was like 4K, and then now we're seeing 35 in 2025. So really not that bad. Skull Trooper isn't down as much as people probably think. And whoa, that is the highest Skull Ranger sale we have seen all day. We saw another one. We saw another one at 2K, and I said, I believe it's 1K right now, but it's actually a $2,000 card right now. No. We saw, along with the Skull Trooper that sold for 6K, we saw a Skull Ranger sell for 3K in 2022. Oh, that Trooper for 3.5K was you? Hey, congrats, bro. That's awesome, bro. You didn't hear me say anything bad about it, because it's a very good buy. Congratulations. But in 2022, we saw the Skull Trooper and the Skull Ranger PSA 10s. One sell for 6K, one sell for 3K. And seeing Skull Ranger still at 2K in 2025, I mean, with people probably smartening up and realizing Skull Ranger isn't as great as she is. I mean, still selling for 2K, that's a big number. So I like to see it. Then we got a Peely for 1,500, 2025 raw. I remember, I can't remember if this one was clean or not. From the front, it doesn't look too bad. Can't tell, obviously, the back, unfortunately, but not bad. Definitely a strong sale. Then we got a Lux at 12, PSA 10. We saw this card sell for a lot more throughout the day. We saw an SGC 9 get the same price. We saw a PSA 9 get 1,100. And we saw, okay, the other PSA 10 Lux we saw in the past 3 years was for 3,500. So, yes, Lux is down, but it is what it is. Most of them are down. Like I said, Skull Trooper isn't. Skull Ranger still selling very strong. Peely's down. Black Knight's down severely. This one is another one that's also down severely. The last PSA 10 we looked at before this one sold for $2,600. This one selling for $1,100. And then we saw a PSA 9 in early 2024 or early 2023, one of the two. No, it was early 2024, sell for this around the same price, just over $1,000. A Red Knight and a 9. So another one that's down, unfortunately. Now here we go with a Black Knight Italy PSA 10 2,600. Not too bad. I believe that's what that card's worth right now. Like I said, throughout this live stream, we saw them sell for 7K, over 7K, 6 to 7. Like, we saw those very high. Now we got a Peely BGS 9.5 at auction for 3,800. I don't think this is bad at all. The PSA 10, I believe it was up here. For 48. So $1,000 difference between the 9.5 and the 10. I definitely think that's reasonable. I have no issue with that whatsoever. So yeah, strong sale honestly for not bad. Still $4,000 on a Fortnite card in April of 2025. So then here we go. This is the first Ghoul Trooper PSA. This is the first Ghoul Trooper PSA 10 we've seen all day today. Looking at these old sales. A PSA 10 for $2,500. I mean, I have nothing to compare it to older sales from 2022. This one still is not bad at all. Very, very gorgeous card. And very, very good card as well. Top 10 Fortnite card right there. Then we got, okay, here's a Sculpture PSA 10 for 23, but this is a buy it now. So somebody listed this up and listed for what the last comp was by about $1,000. So by a little over $1,000. So of course it's going to sell quick. And I definitely don't think that's a bad price at all for a gorgeous, gorgeous card like that. Then we got a little Nogops action at $1,000 on April 10th, 2025. Once again, very strong sale. I like to see it. Nogops is a great card, one of the most OG Christmas skins. So $1,000 is definitely reasonable for her. Glad she's okay. So I'm gonna skip this Royal Knight right now. Go back to wild card because we saw a wild card sale. This one sold for just over $1,000. We saw one in 2022 that was just over $1,000. Everyone always talks about how down the prices are, and I said if this wild card sold today, I'd bet it sold for $1,000. I completely forgot about this sale and that it went for exactly that same price. But I'm just glad to see that wild card's holding strong. I love wild card. Very good card. Like the 8th Royal Knight we've seen. Let's see if I can remember the numbers. It went whoa. Okay. It went like the first one we saw was 13, then we saw 2 at 1100, then we saw one at 13, then we saw one at 18, then we saw one at 16, then we saw another one at 11. No, then we saw another one at 13. Now we're seeing this one at 11. So let's think 13, 11, 11, 13, 18, 16, 13, 11. So we've seen like 8 or 7 Royal Knight Crystal Shard PSA 10 since 2022 sell, which is absolutely absurd for some reason. I don't know why that card was popping up so much. Yeah. And we see a Raven PSA 10. The other one of these we saw in this video was in, I believe, 2022, and it sold for $2K. No, we saw this one in 2023. Actually, no, it was late 2022 was the other one of these we saw. I'm just trying. This is all off memory. I got none of this written down or anything. And we saw it. I believe it was $2,026. So pretty much 2.5 years later, it's cut in half. It's unfortunate, but it's the way the market is. And okay, so we're gonna skip over this Black Knight. Okay, but that's a Brazil for 18. We saw one of these sell for 5,500 earlier in the video, so that's a pretty significant drop off. But here we go, Omega for 13. Now, this just goes to show me that Omega is undervalued. We saw the one in 2023 or 2022. It was earlier on in the video, sell for 1,800, and I said that was a steal of the video. I forgot about this sale for 13, and I said if it would sell today, it would be 2K. I was wrong on that, of course, but I still think Omega is a very good card, and this just goes to show me he's underrated. Because why is Hybrid matching him in price? Why is Hybrid beating Omega? I know Hybrid is low pop. What are we doing, guys? I thought the market corrected itself. This is obviously a PSA 10 collector right here, a set collector. Someone going for the PSA 10 would be my guess on this sell right here for 1,300 because Hybrid is super low pop. Other than that, he's got nothing going for him. Other he's look cool and he's low pop. That's a high sale. You got Skull Trooper PSA 10. This one for 38. Skull Trooper, the last 3 we looked at, we've seen 3 of these in 2025. We saw 35, 23, 38. Not bad numbers at all. Skull Trooper still pulling them in big consistently. Cuddle Team Leader at 2K. First one I heard we looked at today in a PSA 10. 2K for her is definitely very, very strong. She deserves it, though. Oh, where can you buy Fortnite cards? So these are all previous sales I'm looking at on eBay. So eBay right now is pretty much your only source of buying Fortnite cards. You can find some on Mercari or just people on Instagram that have Fortnite cards posted. You could DM them and ask to buy them. There also is a Discord, the Taking High Ground Discord, where you could buy Fortnite cards, and the Facebook group Fortnite Trading Card Exchange. So you have a lot of options. And how do you know what's rare? So the rarest of the Fortnite cards, other than prototypes, which that's a whole different ballgame, are these crystal shards from Series 1 in USA print, especially their PSA 10s. Those are the rarest. And then there's cracked ice in Series 2 and 3. And then there's other parallels like hollows that are in Series 1, 2, and 3. And then in Series 2 and 3, there's also Optichromes. And in Series 3, there's also a parallel that's lasers. So it's not packs like Pokemon. No, it's very different than Pokemon. The best cards you can get are these, like I said, the crystal shards, and you pull those out of. Okay, I don't know why it's the tape making that noise. I don't know why there's tape to it, but out of mega boxes. This is not sealed. It just has the tape on it. But you get the best Fortnite trading cards from this box right here, and you get 2 of them per box. These are going for around $750 to $800 right about now. And then also Series 2 mega boxes have cracked ice. You can get very good cards from there. There is packs, but like the packs aren't similar to Pokemon. I guess I misread your question. But yes, it is packs. In here, let's see how much does this come with. 12 packs per box, 6 cards per pack. Yeah, these are the expensive cards. Like you said, promo in Series 1. These parallels are only in Series 1. And then the best parallel going forward is Cracked Ice in Series 2. And then Series 3 is kind of the debate between the Cracked Ice and the Lasers. Both are very good cards. Lasers and PSA 10s are probably the best, then Cracked Ice in second. But yeah, Fortnite cards are great. They look great in person. I showed this one off my personal collection earlier. They're very good looking cards. And Fortnite cards are down from what they used to be. Hells are $7.98. They're a lot cheaper than what they used to be. So if you would like to try to take a stab at some of the bigger cards, then now would honestly be the time. But definitely don't look at it as an investment. Do it as a hobby. Definitely not investment advice here. But the next sale we're going to be looking at is this pump shotgun on April 26, 2025, PSA 10 for $1730. The other one of these we saw today was $2,500 in 2024. Mile High Freedom. Thanks for keeping the videos going. Thank you, bro. Thank you for watching. Shout out to you, bro. I know you got a great collection, man, and you said the community needs it. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm the only one going right now, but this is what it is. Appreciate y'all stopping by. But yeah, this pump shotgun, the other one we saw today was in 2024 for $2,500 in PSA 10 condition. Very good card, obviously. Like I said, personally, a top 10 card of mine of all time for Fortnite cards. And to see it fetching big numbers like that is very cool. Very good to see. Now, this one is a lot of 29 PSA 10 hollow foils for $2,000. A lot of PSA 10 hollow foils from Series 1. Let's see. Semi-auto, Drumbeat, couple pickaxes. We got Armadillo, Patroller, Crimson Scout, Reindeer Dude, forgot his name, Garrison, Sunflower Drum Gun, the Referee. I know Whistle Warrior is the female one. I don't know that guy. Then we got Patty Whacker, Backbone, Fortune, Insight. Is that Insight or Long Shot? Long Shot. Insight's the female. Munitions Major, Red Nose Ranger. Got Mesmer, Caster, Fireworks Team Leader, Hollowhead, Mothmando, Sunstrider, Funk Ops, Chomp Senior, Rex, Arachne, and Lux, all in PSA 10 hollows for $2,000. I don't think that's bad at all. I think that's a very good number to see for where we are at in the market. That's a strong sale for May 1st, 2025. So I'm glad to see something like that. Then on May 9th, 2025, we got a very cool sale, a single hollow of Dynamo Pop 3 PSA 10 for $1,100. Buy it now. Very glad to see a strong sale like that. Dynamo she's very tough to grade. Like I said, her hollow is Pop 3, and I'm assuming there's a lot graded because Dynamo is a very good card, popular skin in game. She became popular in the card market once people started getting educated, thanks to THG back in the day. We had $1,000 is a very strong sale for that one. I love to see where we are at in the market. Then we got another Bright Bomber for $2,000 on May 12th, 2025. The other one, we saw a raw for $1,200. We saw a raw for $1,300 and a raw for $1,200 of Bright Bomber today. So this 2K, sure, it's a little bit low compared to those, but it's honestly kind of on par. You can't expect a complete double because people are buying those raws hoping for PSA 10s. Then we got a lot of 14 Crystal Shards from 2019. Wow. If I would have seen this, I would have bought this in a second. Wow, that's gorgeous. $2,200. Got the pump, the tack, oh man, if I would have seen this, I would have bought this in a split second. You want that Bright Bomber? Yeah, man, who doesn't, bro? Who doesn't want that Bright Bomber Crystal Shard? Man, oh man, this is a lot right here. Oblivion is a card I'm after. 10 Defender's not bad. I'd love to have a pump. double up on Rustler. Oh man, that's a great lot for $2,200. You get that. You get a PSA 10 on that pump. Rustler just sold for a pretty decent price in PSA 10. Mothmano just sold for like 400 frequently. Oblivion's a good card. Snorkel Ops isn't bad either. The tack, if you dime a tack, you're making some serious cheese there too. So like that's a great lot for 2,200, especially those are grade worthy, and that's an awesome sell right there. Then a Black Knight Italy for 2,400. Been seeing a bunch of those today. We saw some of these over $4,000, and we saw some less than that. You need snorkel ops, Kevin. There was a snorkel ops on eBay for like. Hold on, Kevin. I might be able to hit you with an assist here, because there was a snorkel ops for like 160 up. I don't know if it's sold or not. Hey, Kevin Garcia, you better get on eBay right now, bro. 160 for the snorkel ops. No, it's $300, bro. I mean, it's 160. It's not $300, bro. It's 160. I hope you get it, man, because this is a good price. Is that an assist or what? Hey, come on, go snag that, Kevin. I want to see this sold before the end of the live stream. It's got 6 watchers, 5 viewed in the last 24 hours. And I hope you get it, bro. But let's keep looking at these sales while Kevin gets a card he's wanted. I'm glad I could help you out on that, man. But what I was going to say, this Black Knight, we see it's selling for $2,400 in May of 24th, 2025. Throughout this live stream, I've seen this card sell for $7,100. And I've seen some sell for lower than this, actually. So it's kind of the alley. Now we need the oop, of course. Yep. Now I'm really debating. Hey, 160 isn't bad. I'm not obviously I don't know your current situation, but if you have the money to spend, I'd go for it. Hold on, what's the condition looking like on this? That's not a very good image. Kind of hard to tell here. Oh, there's some wear up there. There's some wear and tear up there a little bit. This thing, I mean, it's probably catching a 7 if I had to be honest. I can't. That's probably on the top loader. That's probably not on the card. That little wear on the corner, I'm guessing that's probably going to catch a 7, unfortunately. I zoom in more here. Yeah, that's kind of bad right there. Yeah, that's probably a 7, unfortunately. Let's see if we can get a good look at the front here. That's hard to tell. But 160 snorkel ops that'll probably grade a 7. I don't think is that awful. I mean, shards have been going so cheap, hard to choose. Yeah, I mean, if this card went up for auction, it probably, I don't know, what would it? That's hard to tell what that one would go for. But yeah. See, is there any more up here? There's a PSA 9 for 500 in the PSA vault. Here you go. You could get a 9 of all 3 prints for 500. That's honestly not bad. Yeah, for sure. In the long run, great, but right now, not the best. You're still thinking about it. Yeah, this is a pretty cool one right here. I mean, a 9. It's kind of high, but it's not. I mean, it's not bad. It's cool. That's crazy. There's 3 snorkel op shards up for sale right now. 160. It's not bad. All right. Gotta finish this off. Not too okay. There's only a few more left. I've been at this for an hour and a half now, just talking about these sales. I talked about this one in a live stream a while ago. A prototype for 2,200 of snorkel ops CGC. Oh, from the Discord, the 3 snorkel ops. I believe he is. Yeah, no, I've most definitely seen that posted in the Discord. But we got a prototype USA print snorkel ops for $2,250 in the 8.5 by CGC. I definitely think this is a good price. May 31st, 2025, we're seeing a prototype sell for a big number like this. I'm glad to see a public big sale of prototypes like this. I'm glad that people can see this and know how great prototypes are and their true worth. Because like I don't think this is a an inaccurate representation of what it's worth. I don't think it's too low. I don't think it's too high. I think this is what this card is worth, and I'm glad to see it sold for what it did, so people can get more exposure and understand these prototypes better. Now here is the most recent Black Knight PSA 10 sale. We saw this card throughout this video sell for in a PSA 9 this price basically, and an hour and a half of quality. Appreciate that, bro. Thank you so much. But Black Knight Crystal Shard PSA 10. We saw this card in a PSA 9 earlier in this live stream sell for 1,600. This one, I mean for 16,000. This one for 17,000 in 2025. So PSA 10 jumping down to a 2023 price of a PSA 9 is definitely kind of sad, but it is what it is. I mean, it's still $17,000 for a Fortnite card in 2025. Any card market that has a card selling for $17,000, I'm not going to call it down. I just saw a sale that was very low. I didn't even know if that happened. But here's the drift sale for 4K that I've been talking about all stream, because we saw this card in a PSA 10 in 2023, I believe it was, sell for the same price, and for it catching, it actually was more. It's more now than it was then. So drift historically in a PSA 10 is up. I want you all to know that. And if you can take anything away from this stream, that there are Fortnite cards that are up historically. I mean, from 2022 at least. I don't know what this card did in 2021, 2019, or 2020, whatever. But as of 2022, this card is up, and it is selling for the highest it ever did in May 31st of 2025. So we're still alive and well as a Fortnite card community. And the last sale we're going to end it off on this video is 3 mega boxes. Crazy. For 1,000. I did not realize mega boxes were this cheap. Maybe this is just a one-off. I'm hoping this is a one-off and they're not this cheap. But yeah. Yeah, it'd be if Drift didn't just sell for 4,000 and Black Knight for 17,000, like these are good numbers. This is like we're seeing good numbers here. I mean, this isn't a good number though. This is sad. I feel like this has to be a one-off. There's no way megas are down to $340 a pop. There's no way. We can scour some eBay here. Let's just. I don't know why it always pulls me up to the completed and sold listings of Black Knight, but we are going to see what we can find here. Oh, come on, didn't take. All right. We're just gonna see what's up on eBay. What opportunities? Okay, Flapjack. He doesn't pop up too often. Okay, here's a mega for 700. Let's see. Those megas were not Italy. They had to have been, right? Oh, they are. I'm just shocked to see Italy selling that high. Wow, those are Italy. Okay, that's good to know. Drift being up is crazy, yeah, for sure. Yeah, those are Italy. That's a high sale. I was talking down on that sale like they were USA, but Italy selling for 300 a pop. That's pretty good. PSA 9 hybrid for 1,000. This ends in a day. Nightlight, cool. $80 Series 2 Mega. Ooh, a Dusk. She does not pop up very often. Dusk is a very cool looking card too. I don't know if this will get any bids or not. Diecast. Little Tender Defender. Yeah, someone got scammed. Yeah, unfortunately. I talked about this earlier in the live, comparing prices, because we saw PSA 10 of this do 2,200 at one point, 2024. 8.5 BK. There's a lot of nice shards up. Wow, I have this one on the watch list. I forgot about that. Nice card right there. I might scoop the Garrison. You never know. The thing that's holding me back on the Garrison is there's like a dent on it. Yeah, like that's bad. That's bad. So I'd probably shoot the seller and offer a little bit less than that. But I'm not. Here's the snorkel. Okay, well, this got relisted, so that didn't sell. Good to know. Italy for 135. Like, who's listing that? Frostbite. I'm a big Frostbite fan. Well, crack shot. Oh man, that's low for a 9 450 and it's not selling. I wonder if my PSA 5 crack shot's worth like $20. Well, what's the grade on that? Is that a PSA 1? That's going on the hold on. The second the stream ends, I'm making an offer on that card. Anyway. Yeah, the second the stream ends, I'm offering on that card, by the way. Little Lux, 1500, PSA 9, 13 watchers. It's good to see people that are looking at the Lux. Little Raptor PSA 10. There's a lot of nice. Ooh, it's not bad at all. If it was only USA when you search a skin, there would be nothing. I love Italy Brazil because they allow people to get into the hobby and get skins they like. Yeah, for sure. When I first started, I couldn't find a Moisty Crystal Shard. Moisty Merman, my favorite card. I was buying Italy and Brazil. That's the way it has to be until I got my USA. Leviathan for 1,000, 11 watchers, PSA 10. Pretty cool. Oh, that's our boy Shardnock. Gotta love Shardnock Life. That's not bad. Ooh, that's not bad either. I didn't know that was up. Shadow Ops for 15. Shadow Ops is a great card. Oh, that's Westrom. Shout out Westrom. But Shadow Ops is a great card. Little Ace. I really like Ace. Here's the Snorkel Op listing again. There's just so many great cards. There's so many great opportunities to buy Fortnite cards right now. I think I'm going to cut the stream. I'm going to cut the stream. An hour and 41 minutes. Thank you all for stopping by. Mile High Freedom, Kevin Garcia, Daniel Gonzalez was in here. There was Rentime. There was Hauser. Rice was in here for a while. Brian. Shout out. Samuth was also in here. Shout out to anyone who typed in chat, anyone who watched this video. And thank you all for watching. And I will see you guys next time.